We've all had things that have defined us, helped shape us into who we've become today. But what do you do when you have an illness that defines who you are? What do you do then? Welcome to my podcast, Living with Fibro and PSA, Felicia and Frankie's Way. I'm Polsun. Well, I was kind of hoping that you guys had the answers. I have two chronic illnesses, specifically known as fibromyalgia and psoriatic arthritis, two conditions that have become my not so welcomed companions. Pains in my booty. I call them Felicia and Frankie because, well, if they're going to be a part of my life, they might as well have names. Third wheel in my own life with Felicia and Frankie, and today we're going to dive more into meeting Felicia and Frankie and the frustrating and unpredictable and sometimes a little bit funny ways that Felicia and Frankie love to ruin our best laid plans. So go grab a cup of coffee, tea, or maybe a heating pad, a cozy blanket. Hey, I'm not judging. Whatever helps you get through the day, and let's dive in. Welcome to Living with Fibro and PSA, Felicia and Frankie's Way. And I am so glad that each one of you guys are here today. There is nothing quite like being stuck in bed, joints on fire, muscles are screaming, and realizing that the only thing keeping you company is your heating pad. And, essential dread. Felicia's throwing a full body tantrum, and Frankie's twisting joints like he's trying out for the Cirque du Soleil. And somehow you're expected to be just fine. Text messages go unanswered, invites stop rolling in, and suddenly your social life is as empty as your energy tank. Loneliness hits hard when you're in pain, and it's harder when people just don't get it. It's not that we don't want to hang out, it's that our bodies have RSVP'd nope way before we even had the chance. But hey, if you're listening to this, you're not alone. I see you guys. I really do. I see you guys all curled up with ice packs and heating pads and wondering if there's anyone that really understands. I do. We all do. This mess is all of ours to share. And if we're going to go down in a flare, well, at least we're going to go down together with sarcasm, soft blankets, and our snacks. When Felicia and Frankie ruin plans? What plans? Some days, even standing or walking feels like a full body betrayal. Climbing stairs? Yeah, might as well be Everest. Gripping a coffee cup or typing? Yeah, that could hurt like hell. The real kicker? One day I'm doing okay-ish. The next, Felicia, Fibro, and Frankie, PSA, roll in like villainous tag team, turning basic task into a full-on survival challenge. And sleep, please don't even. Felicia's got my nerves misfiring like a busted alarm system. Frankie's over here stiffing up my joints like he's prepping me for a mummy costume. Restful sleep? Yeah, never met her. And the less I sleep, the worse everything gets. Chronic illness just loves a vicious cycle. Cute, right? Then there are those days I wake up with big plans. Maybe I'll run an errand, get something done, feel like a normal human being again. And then, boom, Felicia and Frankie show up like, "Aw, sweetie, no, sit down. Today's a big nope for you." So I have to pivot. I remind myself it's okay to rest. I give myself full guilt-free permission to do nothing because guilt has no business in a body already fighting this hard to exist. Yeah, okay. That's hard sometimes. Sometimes I do have a lot of guilt, and it's hard not to sometimes, folks. It really is when you see life going on beside you and it's just passing you by sometimes. And it's so hard for us to do just the minor, mind doing little things, the little itty bitty things that shouldn't be that big of an issue, but are so hard and so big to do. So, yeah, okay. Try not to have some guilt because my body's not working. It's not my fault. It's my body's fault. Sometimes rest looks like a journal in bed, journaling and binge watching TV and something I've already memorized, or just sitting in silence with family because talking's too much. It's not the day that I pictured, but it's still a day that I showed up for myself. On the roughest days when I am lifting a fork that feels like a CrossFit challenge, I focus on what I can do. What can I do? Bed yoga, chair yoga. It still counts, right? It's still movement. It's still me trying. I didn't give up. I'm still trying. And let's be real, sometimes what I need most is a good, ugly cry. Like the full snot, just loud sobs, dramatic sighs, the whole works. It's how I let go of all the emotional gunk that comes with this chronic pain. Usually, I'll feel a little lighter after, like, I cleared my space in my chest to breathe again. But living like this isn't easy. It's messy. It's unfair. It's it's just far from the Instagram perfect life that I thought I would be living. But hey, it's my life. It's mine. And I'm learning that strength isn't always pushing through. It's just knowing when to pause, when to pivot, and when to treat yourself with softness. Do I always handle it with grace? Pfft, yeah, okay. Sometimes I handle it with sarcasm, as y'all can tell. I'm the queen of sass. So there you go. Sweatpants, a heating pad, duct tape to my back. But I do handle it. It's one messy, real, badass step at a time. Let's talk about plans, though, or more specifically, canceling them over and over and over. Every time it stings just that much more. And the guilt, man, it sucks. It sucks so bad. Like, I just hate it. I cringe because the guilt sucks. It feels like I've let somebody down again. I've let my loved ones down. I've let a friend down, or I don't want to be known as that friend that bails again. I don't ever want people to think that I don't care, because I do. I probably care too much, way too much. There's always a cheerleader in my head just shouting, you got this, you got this, you got this, you could do this, you need this. But when it comes to that migraine, yeah, that random bone deep flare up, that swollen joint that won't bend, and just like that, my plans, they're toast again and again and again, and will probably be for the rest of my life. So that's why I've honestly stopped getting too excited about getting things in advance, because and making plans in advance. I just don't do it. Honestly, I kind of hate making plans now. I'd much rather keep it spontaneous. It's a whole lot less room for disappointment, because when your body is the ultimate wild card and planning things feels like a gamble with a loaded dice, It's frustrating and it's exhausting. And yeah, sometimes it's just downright heartbreaking. But we keep going one moment at a time, even if we have to cancel, if we have to cry into our ice packs, or you know, it is what it is because we're just surviving in this chaos, right? That's not a small thing. That's not something to look easy at because let me tell you, that's pretty badass in my book because anybody that walks in these shoes, yeah, it's not easy. I used to have a lot of friends. I know people get busy and, life continues on with or without you. I know it happens. Man, I used to love getting in a car, blasting music full blast, and just riding around for hours out in the country. Now, even the shortest drives hurt. They hurt too much sometimes. Just sitting in the car feels like punishment sometimes, or maybe it's because I associate car rides now with doctors. Plus, having an autoimmune disease, you have to watch out for those creepy little germs. I got so sick last summer, and it was a UTI. It almost took me out, like for real. Like, took me out, along with this upper fungus among us. Geez. So I stay home. Like, it's sometimes it's almost scary to go out. And honestly, it's sad to say that, but I have to think about my health sometimes, and I want to be around for my grandkids. So I need to be smarter and safer for my own health. And, how do you explain these things to people that, you know, they just feel like, well, you're no longer living life to the fullest, and maybe that is the brutal truth to a point. But I am because, you know, I am. But I've lost friendships because they just don't understand. They didn't understand what I was going through. And because these illnesses, they're invisible. And people, they just don't realize how much of a struggle it truly is. On the outside, I do look fine. I don't look, you know, my psoriasis, they're in hidden places that you can't see. So if you looked at me, you really wouldn't realize that I was sick at all. But my insides, man, they're a hot frickin' mess. They don't even know which way they're going these days, up, down, sideways, all around. I don't know. My body feels like it's burning, it's aching, it's locking up. It's between being weighed down all the time, and there's just so much. And managing both of these conditions means that I constantly have to adjust and adapt and hope for a good day once in a while. And I always have to keep in the back of my mind that I need to be prepared for a possibility of a really, really bad one. And then I had others that just got too busy. Once I stopped showing up, or, it just kind of turns out that when you can't leave the house much, you kind of fade away from people's lives. And here's the kicker. I know I played a big part in that too. When I have a flare up, I tend to disappear. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want pity. I don't want pity. I don't even want to be seen, especially not by the people who love me the most. It also hurts emotionally as much as you want to be there for other people, someone that you love. But you can't even get your own crap together. You can't even get your own crap in check. To get out of bed because of that hurt. And then suddenly, when people that you love aren't there anymore, like the sudden loss of my mom, man, I'm telling you, that was absolutely devastating. And I'll have more on that later, but Man, I'm my own worst enemy. And when I get in my head, I get in my head. My husband and my adult kids, I mean, they see it probably more now. I mean, I'm doing better now, but in the beginning, it was really, really bad. But, now I have to try to hide that pain from everybody. And I don't have to. I think it's still in my head that I just don't want people to see me like that. And so I try to hide that pain. I try to mask it from people. And some days I just can't do it. Like it gets harder and harder to mask that sometimes. And then it's just the soul crushing part of this whole journey is trying to explain it and trying to make people see and get it. But how can I expect somebody to relate? How do I express pain in a way that people really get it? You can't. So, therefore you don't. Talk to myself so much, I'm charging myself rent. The loneliness is no one really gets it unless they live it. And that creates this strange kind of isolation where you can be surrounded by people that you love, but you still feel completely and utterly alone because they can't feel what's happening in my body. They can't feel that pain. They can't feel that ultimate fatigue where I'm just absolutely drained. The frustration with everything, the grief, everything that I have is invisible. Everything. So when the calls stop and the invites dry up, people just move on with their lives. But see, that loneliness, it cuts. It cuts deeper and deeper. I try to explain that it's like, imagine having the flu and your body aches and you're exhausted and even standing feels like too much. Now imagine that never goes away. Or imagine waking up every day not knowing if you're going to have the energy to do something as simple as a shower, or if you feel like you've been hit by a truck, or you have 1,000 pounds of cement on your joints and making every movement is a struggle. That's the stuff I deal with. But how do you make people see that? How do you make them feel that? You don't. I can try to communicate to stay connected, but how do you describe something that no one else can see? I want to show up. I really do. I really, really, really do. But my body doesn't let me do that. Some days, I can fake it. I can push through it. And, other days I just can't even get myself out of freaking bed. And it's not that I don't care. It's not that I've given up. It's just with Felicia and Frankie running the show. I never, ever, ever know how I'm going to feel until that exact moment arrives. And that unpredictability, yeah, it costs more than just physical pain. Sometimes it costs a connection. Sometimes it costs me people. But I'm learning to hold space for myself and for those who do stay. Because even in this messy, lonely, painful reality, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still hoping, still showing up in whatever way I can. And thank you for being in my life and for trying to understand what I'm going through. It truly means the world to me. We need to make sure that we, try to include that in our peoples that are in our circle, are things that things that we can portray to them as well. There are days when feeling like crap and being loved anyway. There are days when I felt like a total burden. Cue the internal drama. Am I even strong enough for this? Yeah, those moments when they hit really hard. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Cue in some Jelly Roll because, I do listen to a lot of Jelly Roll. He does get me through a lot of things in my life. But it is okay. It really is okay. It's okay to feel the frustration and the grief that the life that you just thought you would have and the life you don't have now. Scream into the void if you have to. Just don't suffer in silence. That's where the support comes in clutch. Whether it's a family member, friends, or some badass online group. Having people in your corner makes all the difference. My family, total MVPs. They handle the chaos. They show up for me for when I'm falling apart. They let me ugly cry without judgment. Well, most of them do. My boys give me all kinds of hell. And support groups, yes, absolute lifesavers. There is nothing like venting to people who actually get it, and I don't have to explain. No side eyes, they just understand. And if you're struggling with fibro PSA or any other chronic beast, let me say this loud and clear. Your pain, it's real. You're not imagining it. You're not exaggerating. And no, you are absolutely not alone. And it's okay to have those tough days. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to power through everything by yourself. Lean on your people. Take it one step at a time. Be kind to yourself because every small win matters. And even on your hardest days, you are doing the best you can. And that's enough. Oh, and if you're looking for a community that gets it, I'm in some incredible support groups that have made a huge difference in my journey. And I have listed quite a few of them previously before in the earlier episodes. I will list them again, especially because I borrow some images from some of these sites. So yes, of course. And you can always as well find me on Facebook too. But, there's advice, there's real talk out there, validation, and occasional, memes that just scream, yeah, yeah, I see ya. You're not falling behind, you're climbing a different mountain. So, to anyone out there that feels like they haven't accomplished as much as they quote unquote should because of a chronic illness, I see you. And let me say this loud and clear should. The word should is a scam. Seriously, who decides what enough even looks like? Spoiler alert, it definitely wasn't someone living in a body that throws surprise mutinies every other day. Chronic illness has a way of turning the basics into mountains. Standing up, showering, making a meal. Monumental. And when the world around you is out here hustling and posting curated highlight reels and glorifying burnouts, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Your worth is not tied to how many tasks you complete in a day. You are not your to-do list. You are not your energy level. You are not the goals that had to be paused or reshaped or even let go entirely. Living with chronic pain or fatigue means redefining what success looks like. Some days just waking up and making it through the day is a huge, huge, huge win. Taking a shower, full-blown gold star moment. And showing up for yourself with even an ounce of compassion, that is superhero level stuff right there. And yeah, It's okay to grieve the things that have slipped through your fingers because that loss, it's real. But don't, please don't let the grief drown your strengths. The fact that you keep going and adapting and surviving in a world that wasn't built with your body in mind, that's no small feat. So, here's my advice. Be ridiculously kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. You'd give a friend who's going through hell. And celebrate the little things because in our world, nothing is actually little. Redefine success. Maybe success today is canceling plans so that your body doesn't completely rebel. Maybe it's saying no without the guilt hanging over. Maybe it's laughing through the pain or crying because sometimes the most honest thing you can do. You're not behind. You're just on a different path. And that path is still valid. It's still worthy. And it's still yours. You're doing the best you can with a body that doesn't always play fair. And honestly, that's pretty daggone incredible. Spoiler alert, I'm still sick, even if I look fine. Let's clear something up about living with fibromyalgia and psoriatic arthritis because misconceptions, whew, man oh man, are they loud. You look fine, so you must be fine. Well, cool then. I guess makeup and clean shirt it cures chronic illness. Just because I look okay doesn't mean I'm not in pain or running on fumes. It's just pain. You'll get over it. Spoiler, I won't. This isn't a pulled muscle or a bad day. It's constant. It's chronic. It's unpredictable pain. And no, there's no magical, just get over it. Number 3 is a good one. Just rest. You'll feel better. Rest helps, yeah, sure. But too much turns me into a stiff, achy pretzel. Managing these conditions takes a whole toolkit, not just a nap. Number 4, there's got to be a cure. Yeah, I wish. I really, really wish there was. But until someone hands me a miracle in a bottle, I'm stuck managing symptoms, not erasing them. Number 5, it's all about the pain. Pain just tips the iceberg. We also have fatigue. We also have brain fog, emotional whiplash, and joints that feel like they have been through the freaking blender, okay? Number 6, if you're not doing something, you're lazy. Yeah, no. I'm pacing myself. My energy spoons, they're very precious to me. They're a precious resource and it's not something that I can waste to prove to you that I'm not lazy to people who just don't get it. Number 7, you'll get back to normal eventually. Yeah, okay, define normal to me because this is my new normal now. Just with more meds, more boundaries, and a whole lot more sarcasm, okay? Number 8, just push through it. Yeah, I tried that. I tried that for years. I crashed, I burned, and now I just listen to my body instead of pretending that I am a motivational poster. Because bottom line, chronic illness, yeah, it's messy, it's complicated, and it's absolutely not solved by good vibes and herbal tea. I'm not freaking lazy, and I'm not even freaking weak. I'm definitely not faking it. I'm just freaking trying to survive it. I'm just, yeah, let's call it surviving. I'm just surviving. Hey, if y'all stuck around this long, then you guys are officially one of my people. And I am seriously, seriously telling y'all, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I know it's a weird kind of spot to kind of wrap things up, but hey, when you're living with Felicia and Frankie, neat endings are a myth. Next week, we'll dive deeper into Felicia's dramatic flair, Frankie's twisted love languages, and yeah, this podcast is for everyone that's stuck on chronic illness roller coaster that's just trying to make sense of a world that doesn't get it and laughing at the absurdity while we're at it all. We'll talk about hard stuff, flare ups, doctor dramas, and the pain of fighting for care. But we'll also celebrate the tiny wins, the weird life hacks, and the moments of joy that make it all worth it. New content hits every Friday, so you got that to look forward to. If you ever felt like you're alone in this mess, I promise you you're not. Let's vent, laugh, and probably ice something together. This life is tough, but we're tougher. If anything I said today hits you right in the feels, or maybe even in the joints, shoot me a message, share your story, or let me know what you want to hear in future episodes. We got so much to dive into: flare ups, relationships, treatments, chaos, how to talk to doctors without losing your mind. So don't go anywhere. And don't forget, don't go far. I'll be back next Friday with some more snark, sass, and survival tips that you didn't even ask for. Catch ya next time. Bye.